Aubrey wakes up on Tuesday, the 16th of spring, and once again, as if via some mechanical directive, she heads straight to the TV and watches the fortune-telling channel. Turns out the spirits are annoyed, and they are unhappy, and they will continue to be unhappy for the rest of the day, which means that it would be a bad plan for Aubrey to try. No, it would be a bad plan for Aubrey to try to go and to do any adventuring today. She very nearly ate the spring onion that she was intending to give to Leah, which would have been a disaster, because there are only a finite number of those in existence, and she's pretty sure that that every single one of them is going to have to go to Leah in order for Aubrey's conscience to be heeded. Aubrey really doesn't want any potential gifts to Leah to go to waste, because, well, whenever Aubrey looks at Leah, she's just filled with a sense of like, she's not even sure what it is. She's filled with an emotional rush that makes her very interested to make sure that she only ever does things to make Leah happy, or at the very least pleasantly surprised. Great. She looks into her mailbox and sees a letter from Pierre. Dear neighbor, I hope you are feeling settled in your new home. I'm writing to let you know that Pierre's store is now selling fertilizers. Why don't you swing by and see if you can afford a few dozen boxes or so? From Pierre. Well, Pierre, I'll have you know that I can make my own fertilizer, thank you. All it takes is 2 saps and I can make my own fertilizer. I haven't been doing it though because I'm lazy. Aubrey thinks to herself, and then catches herself. Wait a second. I'm not lazy. Look at what I'm doing. I'm running a farm by myself. No one's even here supervising. I'm not lazy. I just have other priorities. That's right. She struggles to get a salmonberry struggles to get a salmonberry off of a bush. Struggles again to pet Joan of Arc, and then struggles to water Joan of Arc's watering bowl. Perfect. Okay, so what is going to happen today? She wonders. She looks into her mind's eye, and she can see the community center. She can see the scrolls left there by the Junimo, and she sees that they desire a wild horseradish, a daffodil, a leek, and a dandelion. And she thinks, I'm pretty sure I can provide all of those things. She takes a wild horseradish, she takes a leek, she takes a dandelion, and she takes a daffodil. That was it, yes? Yes. So, Aubrey takes those things, and she also puts away the salmon berries, and the watering can, and the axe. And she also takes the spring onion, which is a gift for Leah. She also takes the tulip, okay, good, which was a gift for Penny. And she takes a quartz, which is a gift for Abigail. And also a parsnip, which she thinks would make a good gift for Gus. Fantastic. Alright. Yes. Okay. Having loaded up her bags full of all of the things that she believes she will need, Aubrey sets out toward the community center. She is suddenly filled with thoughts of being a strong, community-oriented contributor to the community. She is suddenly very excited about the idea of helping out her fellow villagers in Pelican Town, and really also is just bizarrely interested in helping the Junimo. Even though she's not really met these things before, she has no connection to them except magical, and she doesn't really have any reason to trust them. And yet, she does it anyway. Okay. She reaches the tablet and proceeds to drop in her various items into the scroll, and they just magically vanish, they just poof out of existence, and in her mind she can see that the scroll has transformed from a Oh! It has transformed from a box into a flower, and she sees that she's been given 30 seeds. Oh, amazing. Fantastic. She can see a little Junimo spirit carrying away the items that she had given them, walking away into the distance, carrying her offerings. And she can see a tablet appearing in a nearby room, and also another tablet appearing near what looks like a fish tank. Aubrey is very curious now. She goes and sees, oh, okay. So they want a potato, a cauliflower, a green bean, and a parsnip. So hopefully, Aubrey begins. I can get some of these things. Hopefully, I can get these things before spring ends. She runs and passes by the Junimo, who's now carrying the parcel of items into this little tiki hut, which is kind of weird. And she comes across a fish tank. She looks through the scroll on the fish tank and discovers that she's not sure if that intelligent fish is one of these. It takes a sardine, but I feel like sardines, she begins, were not the type of fish that thing was. And she turns 180 degrees and walks out the door. She now has to go and reconfirm what kind of fish that intelligent fish was. She's not looking forward to looking at it again, but she figures that if she can pawn it off on the Junimo, so much the better. Perfect. Okay. She wanders into the town square. Evelyn wants some carp. Sure. Alright, Evelyn. I'll give you some carp, says Aubrey. She's not super excited about fishing, but Evelyn seems like a sweet person, and Aubrey doesn't want her to be unhappy, so she decides to do something nice for Evelyn. I work part-time at Gus's saloon. It pays the bills, says Emily. It does indeed pay the bills. Weren't you the one who pinged me psychically the other day on the day of the egg hunt, Emily? I'm watching you, says Aubrey. Why? What? Okay. Aubrey moves on, takes the salmonberry from Lewis's yard, picks up a daffodil that was lying on the ground, and then heads straight into the library because she's looking for Penny. She's looking for Penny, hoping that she can find Penny and give her a tulip. And lo and behold, Penny is right here inside the library. She talks to Penny. I'm tutoring Vincent and Jazz today. They're a handful, but it's nice to make a difference in someone else's life, she says. Penny, I hope that you understand that you are appreciated. Aubrey hands Penny the lily. Thank you, this looks special, she says. You're goddamn right. I grew it especially for you, Penny. I'm glad that you like it. Aubrey then attempts to read the books once again. Oh, on foraging. The local woods and mountains are great places to find wild produce. A good forager will clear out any weeds, stumps, or stones from these areas, so wild produce has plenty of space to grow. Expert foragers know the secret to cultivating wild food so that it can be grown on the farm. Isn't that amazing? Why, yes. On Foraging, Volume 2. The local woods and mountains are great places to find wild produce. A good forager will clear out any weeds, stumps... Wait a second. I thought I just read that. This is a book by Marnie. Oh. Animals are very sensitive. They like to be pet every day and prefer to eat grass outdoors than dry hay. They don't like being outside in the rain, though. Happy animals produce higher quality products. The fuck? Alright. May be problematic. Something's going on with that book right there, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Aubrey checks off one of the items on her mental checklist and decides to go looking for one of the people that she was going to give gifts to. No! She tries to harvest a salmonberry and it falls directly into the river. That poor salmonberry, it wanted to be eaten, but instead it will just go into the river. Actually, it'll probably be eaten by fish now. Yeah, that's probably likely. Aubrey goes into the saloon, walks straight up to Gus, talks to Gus. Hi, please relax and enjoy yourself, he says. Aubrey holds the parsnip over her head and just chucks it right at Gus's face. Oh goodness, are you sure? He says. He seems pretty happy about it. He seems happy to receive a parsnip. Aubrey happily leaves, hoping quite expectantly to have helped with Gus and his whatever problems he may have emotionally. Aubrey then continues to look around, hoping to find Abigail. Abigail? Are you here? Anywhere? She goes off. She looks at the bridge where Abigail is sometimes found, but Abigail is not there. She decides maybe I'll go looking for Abigail in her own house. I don't know why she wouldn't be... Wait a second. There's no school here. But Abigail said that she was a student. How does that work? Where does Abigail go to school? Does Penny tutor Abigail too? I thought they were like the same age. Aubrey is very concerned now. She's not certain, but she feels like it's possible that she's been lied to. Abigail is going to have to answer some difficult questions. She heads up into Pierre's shop. Oh, it's a cutscene. She walks into Pierre's shop, walks straight up to the counter, and Pierre says, quite happily, "Welcome to Pierre's. How can I help you?" The door slams behind her. She turns around to see a son of a bitch entering the store. Ahem. It's Morris. Everyone turns to look at the scoundrel, this snake, this viper. Come and get it, folks. Coupons for 50% off your purchase at JojaMart, he says. Pierre is horrified because those prices are just insanely low. Well, any takers? Morris says. Viperly. With the essence of that of a viper. All of the people from Pelican Town just walk right up to Morris and they take his coupons like a bunch of sheep. Poor Pierre. But I can't match those prices. I'd be selling at a loss, he says. Well, so is Jojaco, but they're trying to put you out of business, Pierre, and they can take the hit and you can't. It must be so difficult for you to lose your loyal customers like that, he says, pushing his glasses up onto his face. But can you blame them? Joja Corporation is clearly the superior choice, he says. Soon the whole town will realize that, he says, sort of licking his lips. Pierre is very anxious, and Morris turns around and just waltzes out of the store. Oh shit! He waltzes out of the store with water in his shoes. They sort of squish on the ground uncomfortably, and he has this just horrible shit-eating grin plastered across his face. What an asshole. Abigail. Here, take this quartz. Hey, how do you know I was hungry? This looks delicious, says Abigail. I'm not in a good mood right now, she says. I said I'm not in a good mood. What do you want? She asks, getting a little bit upset. Sorry, Abigail. It must be because of what happened in the store just now. I won't bug you. Lewis is here. I do all my grocery shopping here, says Lewis. Oh no. Lewis, you've been infected. Oh, the results, the symptoms are intermittent, but they're still serious all the same. Sigh, Pierre says. He's not happy. Pierre, you'll at least have me as a customer, because Jotoko doesn't sell backpacks. Hey look, it's Emily. She's trying to leave. Aubrey just pushes past her, phasing straight through Emily. Surely this indicates that Emily is a psychic. Somehow, she's magically inclined. We meet every week to encourage each other to stay healthy, says Robin. Oh no. You're looking really fit, Jody. Those dumbbells do wonders, don't they? Says Caroline. Oh, my arms feel like gelatin, says Jody. I'm going to sleep well tonight, says Marnie. A bit of a serene smile on her face. All four of them seem to be infected with the repetition virus, which means that all four of them are not trustworthy. And Aubrey is kind of scared and doesn't want to be trapped in a corner in this room. She wants to get out, get away from these people, because she does not want to be infected with the repetition virus as well. That sounds like probably the worst thing that could possibly happen to her right now. Okay. She heads off in search of Leah. She's not certain if she will find Leah, but she hopes to find her all the same. She, actually, before she goes in that direction, she goes up and looks in the saloon, because it is possible that Leah is in the saloon. So, she heads up toward the saloon and goes straight inside. Leah? Ah, I was right, says Aubrey. Leah is here. And so she holds the spring onion right over the top of her head and just lowers her arms really slowly like a crane. Just both of her arms come straight down at a constant angular speed, and eventually the spring onion in Aubrey's hands comes straight down into Leah's hands. This is a really nice gift, thank you, says Leah. Really, Leah? No comment on my amazing presentation? No comment on my windmill-like performance? No comment on the elegance of my arm maneuvers? Hello, neighbors, he says. Hi, Leah. We both live outside of town. Does that mean something? She says. I think it does, Leah. I think it does, says Aubrey. She walks up to Pam. Hey, Gus, give me another round. And she hiccups. Pam is obviously having a great time not dealing with her normal life right now. Fantastic. It's always good for people to enjoy themselves. Excellent. Well, being that it is 7:20 p.m., Aubrey decides to head straight back to her farm and plant these seeds. So many seeds. She has 30 spring seeds in her inventory right now. And this is such an amazingly good haul that she just has to plant them all right now. There can be no delay. So Aubrey puts away all of the stuff that she doesn't need and wonders if there's even enough space in this entire enclosure for 30 seeds. Let me see, she thinks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 3, 8. Well, 5, 10, maybe 15, 20. There might be exactly enough room, she thinks. So, she continues, I will just hoe every single space in this farm, in this plot, and put as many seeds down as is physically possible until I can no longer fit any more seeds. She goes on. She then proceeds to do exactly that. She begins to hoe every square in her plot and systematically she finally completes her task. She then pulls out the seeds and remembers how she never used fertilizer before. Ah, she goes on, I should do that. I should take this fertilizer and I should take this sap. And in my bare hands, I should just combine sap until it's all gone, turning it all into fertilizer. Perfect. And then she goes on, I should plant this fertilizer literally everywhere inside my garden plot. Perfect. She does exactly that, planting the fertilizer on every available square of her garden. Actually, she realizes, this is a really good indicator because I had 28 fertilizers and 30 seeds, and I put down all 28 fertilizers, and there were a couple of spots left over, which means there's probably exactly enough room in my garden plot for all of these seeds, she concludes. Holy crap, what an amazing stroke of luck. Oh my god, she's fairly certain that that is as perfect as is physically possible. Aubrey is almost completely certain that she has just planted plants on every single square inside her garden plot. Her OCD is so satisfied right now, she cannot fathom her luck at this point. And as a result, she is trembling. She can hardly hold the watering can in her hands. And as she waters these plants, she just counts her blessings very deliberately and talks out loud. She's like muttering to herself about how amazing this is. And she doesn't even notice that she's running out of water in her watering can. And so when she does run out of water in her watering can, it's very jarring. She's like, wait a second. I haven't even really watered any of my plants yet. Why is this? Wait a second. And she realizes that she's been watering her plants for like a good 5 minutes and that she really needs to finish before she passes out from exhaustion. Because it is now 12 a.m. It is so late, or shall we say early, in the morning. She can barely move her arms. She can barely keep her eyes open. And just in time, she manages to get inside and go to bed. And she goes to sleep. She wakes up on Wednesday, the 17th, and comes outside to see the beauty that has just, popped up in front of her. One of the cauliflowers is done. She picks up the cauliflower. It looks beautiful. It's an incredibly, amazing work of farming engineering, this cauliflower. She's very happy with the performance of the cauliflower. She expects great things from the other cauliflowers, and she knows that in the future she will be blessed with good luck due to the presence of cauliflowers in her garden plot. And almost as though no time at all has passed, she just goes on to redo all of the planting, all of the watering of all of her plants, because it has now been the entire night, and all these plants, very thirsty, have just drunk up all of the water that she gave them the night before. So she attempts to water all of the plants once again, and once again she runs out of water. So, feeling a bit embarrassed, sort of wondering why she has to keep doing this, she reluctantly walks down to the river and fills up the watering can once again. Oh, I'm getting a lot of cardio here. These stairs are brutal, she thinks. And she runs back up to the garden plot and continues watering all of her plants. It has been, how long now? 2 hours? It's been 2 hours now since Aubrey started watering all of her plants, and it's almost done. She's almost finished watering all of her plants. Perfect. She's done. She's done watering her plants, and now it is time for her to get on with the day. Excellent. What is the plan for today, she wonders. She attempts to peer into her mind's eye and discern what fish are needed. Sardine, tuna, red snapper, tilapia. And she determines that it was an anchovy. It was an anchovy that was the smart one. An anchovy? Anchovies are not here. Anchovies are not here. Anchovies are not here. Oh shit. Whoops. Anchovies are not here. Anchovies are not there. Nor are they there. Somewhat disappointingly, the super smart treasure guarding fish is not one of the fish that the Junimo are interested in. Very interesting. Aubrey wonders if there's a connection there. Maybe the Junimo are scared of this fish? We should give it a name, so that we don't have to keep referring to it vaguely. We're going to call this anchovy the smart one. We're going to call it Terrence. So, Terrence, the super smart guardian fish, is not one of the fish that the Junimo are interested in. So, Terrence will have to just stay in the chest basically forever until such time that Aubrey realizes a good use for him. Excellent. Okay. So, what is Aubrey's plan today, she wonders. What is my plan? Well, Leah needs another gift. Who else? Abigail. Leah and Abigail and Emily. Leah, Abigail, and Emily need gifts. So Aubrey looks into her chests. She finds a spring onion. She finds a daffodil. And actually, she pulls out one more daffodil to give to Emily. She's pretty sure that daffodils aren't Emily's favorite thing, but she's pretty sure that Emily likes daffodils well enough that she will be receptive of the gift. Until such time that Aubrey realizes Emily's preferred gift. Perfect. Aubrey just raises her sword in the general direction of a salmonberry bush because she's trying very hard to contain her excitement. She really wants the salmonberries to see how good she is at sword fighting, and she's so proud of her skills in combat. She knows that she's gotten to like level 15 in the mines, and nobody knows about it right now except for Marlin. But Marlin is like a crusty old guy who took an arrow to the knee, so that's not cool at all. So Aubrey just desperately wants anyone to know about her prowess in combat. So she tries to show off as often as is physically possible, such as right now, she's sort of like accidentally switching her sword at the spring onions as she's trying to harvest them. But actually, deep down, secretly, it's not an accident. She's doing it on purpose because she wants the spring onions to see how good she is with her sword, and she wants the spring onions to understand that she could cut them down in an instant, but that she doesn't do that, not out of incompetence, but out of respect and decency. This, Aubrey hopes, will cause the spring onions to sort of tremble in fear and respect, and just yield to Aubrey without her having to do anything. Her ultimate goal, she thinks, is to just be able to walk right up to a spring onion and raise her sword up and show the blade to the spring onions, and the spring onions will just pop out of the ground, harvesting themselves and offering themselves up to Aubrey, free of charge. Perfect. Alright, looks like Leah has come out of her house, so Aubrey is just going to throw this spring onion at her. Oops, that's a bit of a problem. This is a really nice gift, thank you, says Leah. Yeah, thank you. Oh, what's going on here? I was going to talk to you, but something is bugged. Alright, well. Leah now likes Aubrey 2 out of 10 possible hearts, which is amazing. Aubrey's very happy about this, and she's very, very hopeful that in the future, other people will like her this much as well. So, oh, she realizes that she doesn't have the quartz that she was going to give to Abigail. She has to go back. She has to go back. Aubrey feels so ashamed, so embarrassed, that she forgot the quartz that was meant to be for Abigail, that she just heads straight back to her farm, because she cannot face Abigail unless she has the quartz. So, she trudges through the forested part of her property, heads straight up to the chest, picks up the quartz. Oh! On her way to find Abigail, she sees a set of worms poking up out of the ground, wriggling in that familiar, satisfying way that Aubrey thinks is a little bit like staring into a campfire. And she heaves her hoe up into the air and chops the worms, and they end their wriggling to reveal 2 pieces of clay. And Aubrey is filled with disappointment because clay is terrible. But she does not let that dampen her spirits, and instead she moves on in an attempt to find Abigail. Closed on Wednesdays. Oh no. Pierre's shop is closed on Wednesdays. Aubrey is not certain where to find Abigail when her house, which doubles as the store, is closed. So she sort of runs around like a chicken with no head, looking for any sign at all of Abigail's whereabouts. She also tries to find Emily, but isn't really sure where to find Emily when she's not at work. So, she looks at her map, discovers that Emily lives in this house, so she goes inside. Oh, Emily is here. Perfect. She gives Emily she gives Emily the daffodil. Thank you. I'm feeling a positive energy from this gift, says Emily. Aw, she likes it. She likes daffodils. I've heard rumors of rare and powerful magic rings forged long ago by forgotten civilizations. I'm not sure if it's true or just a fairy tale, she says. Don't be coy with me, Emily. I know you're a psychic. For God's sake. I felt your psychic ping. For some reason, you wanted me at that egg hunt, Emily. I know it. And now you're trying to cover it up. Well, I'm wise to you, Emily, says Aubrey. And she continues on, looking for people to whom these daffodils should be given. And finds absolutely no one in Jodi's house. So she leaves. That was an easy decision. Who would she give it to? Not Emily. She just gave Emily a flower. Who was it? Who was it? I guess, Maru. Maru and Abigail are the only ones left who still need gifts. Oh shit. Aubrey sees a salmonberry bush. And she runs up and very excitedly shakes the bush, and all of the salmonberries fall down off of the bush. And she just snatches them all up. The fuck? She snatches them all up and harvests them all and keeps them for herself. Well, it's looking a little bit like Abigail is nowhere to be found, so Aubrey gives Jodi the flower instead. Okay, something weird is happening. Blech, I hate this. Oh no, Jodi doesn't like daffodils. Oh well. Oh well, Aubrey thinks. I will not give Jodi any more daffodils. Also, it seems that Abigail is nowhere to be found. Just in general, she's gone. She's vanished. she in the saloon? Nope. Abigail is not in the saloon. That's just problematic. Oh well. Aubrey tries giving Marnie a flower. Thank you, this looks nice. Okay, apparently Marnie is okay with daffodils. You can use a scythe to cut feed from grass, she says. Oh shit, that's useful information. I wouldn't have realized that at all, says Aubrey. Okay. Okay. The day was largely a failure, unfortunately. So Aubrey decides to head in the direction of Maru, because who knows what Maru likes. Maybe Aubrey will find another daffodil on the way there, because she's completely out of flowers. But maybe Maru will like this daffodil. She picks up a daffodil, just as she was saying that, as though she knew it was going to happen. Of course, if anyone were to ask, that's exactly what she would say. She would say that she planned to pick up that daffodil, and had in fact earlier made certain that it was there, so that she could make that a really seamless transition. But as such, it was just an incredibly good stroke of luck. Whoops. Shoot. Maru's house has literally just closed. And thus, Aubrey is forced to walk back home, not knowing, one way or the other, if Maru likes daffodils. She gets partially distracted by another salmon berry. However, she feels very good to announce to herself and anyone who's willing to listen that she has now collected 18 entire salmonberry clusters, which is a fantastic occurrence, and she is certain that these salmon berries will sell for quite a bit. And she heads home with the intention of returning in the morning to give Abigail her quartz. Fantastic. And perhaps to give Maru this daffodil. But she will give her a regular daffodil, not the one that's worth slightly more. Because she's fairly certain that the only people who care about that are in the marketing business. And that it doesn't actually matter. Perfect. Okay. Let's see. Aubrey decides to go and preemptively fill the watering can, because she is certain that she will need to do this at some point between now and being done watering all the plants tomorrow. So maybe, if she does it right now, she won't have to do it in the middle of watering her plants in the morning. So, having done this, she goes into her house, pets Joan of Arc, and goes to bed.